I felt like the right team won. I thought the Browns, their defense was so great in that game. They were all over the place. And Stefanski, who if you're thinking about long shot Browns odds or any type of bets, you just tear the tickets in half. I just don't think he's a competent enough coach. Some of the stuff they're doing on offense where you have the lead, you have momentum, your defense is just crushing this Niners team. And over and over again, PJ Walker is just like doing stuff and trying to make plays offensively. And to me, this was just a run 3 plays, punt, let your defense take it from there. And for some reason, they were just incapable of doing it, and they needed the lucky field goal at the end to win.
Yeah, the missed field goal. Yeah, if you're a 49ers fan, you shouldn't be worried because this was a trap game, right? We said it after the big Sunday nighter against the Cowboys. Why do they care about going to Cleveland and winning by a lot? I think it opened at 3.5 when we did it on Sunday because we thought Deshaun was playing, and that's a whole other thing. Like, I don't know why everyone's not opening this up. Like, there are reports like, yeah, but he's going to play next week. Like, how do you know? If he didn't practice at all, no one ever reports that a guy's going to play next week if he didn't practice at all the week before. There's some shenanigans going on there if we can't figure it out. But, McCaffrey getting banged up. They had offensive line injuries and, Deebo Samuel out. And they still, like you said, were a field goal miss away from doing it.
Trent Williams was a little banged up. Yeah, we mentioned last week, this is the type of game. The biggest question we had on the Niners was, could they stay intact for 5 months with 3 skill position guys who just have had a tendency to just disappear for chunks of time and, are guys that take a lot of hits. And this was the type of game where they were going to take a lot of hits. So you had that piece. I think I set the over-under at 2, and then we couldn't decide whether it was an under or an over. Cleveland's defense, 1,003 yards allowed in 5 games, which is the 3rd fewest since the 1970 merger.
Wow.
They go into this game with the Deshaun thing. At least they know this time that he's not playing, probably, and then he doesn't play, and they have PJ Walker gets reps. We didn't realize when we were doing the pod last week that the guy who started last week didn't know he was playing until 2.5 hours before the game. I'm with you, though. This Watson story is bizarre. They clear him to play 2 weeks ago. He ends up deciding he's not going to play. They have a bye week coming up. And we talked last week or whenever this was 2 weeks ago about, maybe they're just trying to be careful. And now he doesn't play again.
And he didn't go to Houston during the bye, right? To rehab, but still cleared to play. So it didn't really matter. I'm going to say it.
Neither of us know anything.
No. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. He's a selfish guy.
What are you doing? What are you trying to get? You trying to get on ESPN.com with some video?
He's selfish. I think I'm going to go as far as to say he's just a selfish human being. No, I don't know. It's a
you
mess.
Can't see Sal's face, but he's laughing as he's doing this. We're doing the ESPN how to get on the front page of the website content.
I'm laughing through tears because I have the Browns to win this division. I think it's a solid bet if their quarterback could play when he's able to play. Like I don't know. And they won anyway. And I still like it because they're 3-2 and have a nice home field advantage, it seems. And you're right. I think they allow like 3.1 yards per play.
They were
defense.
Awesome.
It's insane.
My shit detector is going off with the Deshaun story, and I think yours is too. Something doesn't add up. And I don't know what the real story is, but I don't feel like we're hearing it. And I fully expect tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, some sort of something to come out where it's like, oh, actually, this is what's going on. And I don't know what it is.
Could someone whisper us the real story? Like Michelle Tafoya call in or something?
Well,
anybody.
Well, if they cleared him to play 2 weeks ago and he's still hurt, then that means their doctors are terrible. So, something doesn't add up with this. The Stefanski piece, him and Staley are the two guys over and over, like these guys that get aggressive in their own territory because the analytics tell them to. And, they don't seem to have any sense for what the game is. And in this game, it's like, man, we have a lead. Our defense is going to keep this lead. Let's not fuck up the lead. He's got PJ Walker throwing from his own 10. I was stupefied by it.
I'm with you on Stefanski, but I don't think any of these coaches we thought were good know how to hold a lead, including McDermott and including Sirianni and all these guys, these teams that go far. And we're going to get to those games in a minute. But for God's sakes, it's a mystery every game.
Yeah, this was a just run and punt game. I crowdsourced a couple Browns fans. First of all, it was the biggest upset win they've had just from a Vegas spread standpoint since 2010. It has to be in the running for like one of the biggest wins they've had since they got the team back in 1999. I mean, I'm sure there was a Baker Mayfield game. I'm sure there was a game during the Derek Anderson era, but this was just an awesome win. They do it at home. They do it in like the, this punch mouth style. And then they get this lucky break at the end when the guy shanks what seemed to be slightly harder kick than the Niners were giving it credit for. They seemed very happy to do a 41-yarder on grass and not awesome weather with a guy who hadn't been in a lot of spots like that.
I would love to ask a kicker, like, hey, does it make, because in my mind and in your mind, it makes a difference if you get it to 35 yards away versus 41 or 42, right? Would a kicker admit that, or are they just too proud to say, hey, man, I'm nailing them from 55 in practice, so I don't care. Put me anywhere.
There must be some range where they're like, I'm lights out. Because Elliott in the Eagles-Jets games we're about to talk about, he missed a 37-yarder, and that guy has hit the point when he misses a field goal, I'm shocked. He's like in that Justin Tucker zone.
Rory McIlroy,
like, wow, he missed.
It wouldn't be like, yeah, man, I'll putt it from 14 feet or 6 feet. I don't care. It's like, no, there's a percentage where you're better. You got a sweet spot, for sure. Yeah.
Brock Purdy, you just say bad weather. He was due for one of those, or did he vindicate a lot of people who were saying, can everybody settle down on this Brock Purdy thing? He's got great weapons. He's got a really good offensive line, and he's not nearly as good as he's looked these first 5 weeks. All those people are somehow right. He did have some weapons pulled out of this game. Trent Williams is playing hurt. Worst possible situation. Not great weather. He's going against the best defense in the league. But I will say, I'm filing it away for January because who knows where they're playing. But in January, and especially now that the season drags on, could be, the last weekend in January or something. It could be like a 15, 20 degree. It's hard not to think about this game 3 months from now, right?
Yeah, and I think, the worst thing that could happen to him is me screaming about how he needs to get a contract extension, even though he's not due for one for like a year and a half all week long. But I think we could answer one thing fairly definitively between him and McCaffrey as far as MVP for the team. It's McCaffrey, right? It's got to be Christian McCaffrey.
Right.